welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to discuss an often overlooked Nintendo 64 game, and one that I think is the very best version of Tetris ever made. The new Tetris. The idea of Tetris is a deceptively simple concept. Various shapes comprised of 4 smaller blocks fall from the top. The goal is to fill horizontal lines across the screen to clear a line. Clear 4 lines at once with a long piece, and that's called a Tetris. Some would even go as far as to say that Tetris is a metaphor for life itself. You cannot stop the pieces from falling, just like you cannot stop the relentless march of time. Everyone plays the same game. It's how you handle the pieces you're given that dictate how well your game goes, and how long you last. Wow, that was deep. By every measure, I believe Tetris is the perfect game. It's simple, easy to understand, hard to master, and addicting. For nearly 4 decades, Tetris players around the world have been seeing pieces fall when they close their eyes. Since its inception, there have been countless versions of Tetris across every platform imaginable, built by various developers. A couple of my favorite versions are Tetris Effect Connected and Tetris for the original Nintendo Game Boy, which was the original pack-in game for the system in the United States. However, my very favorite version of Tetris, and one that I think is the best, is the new Tetris for Nintendo 64. It released in July of 1999, not to be confused with the next Tetris, which released on the Sony PlayStation and PC earlier that same year. The new Tetris was developed by H2O Entertainment and Blue Planet Software. It was never re-released or ported to any other console, and I refuse to let this game be forgotten in the sands of time. It deserves recognition and praise. But what makes this game so special, you ask? Why do I think it's the best? Well, sit back and listen. There's so much that I love about this version of Tetris that it's difficult to know where to begin. But I think I'll start with the basics. The same familiar Tetris gameplay that you know and love is here, but with a couple of twists. For starters, it doesn't score you how every other Tetris game scores you. Instead of displaying a traditional score, it shows how many lines you've cleared in that game. In Marathon mode, the goal is to clear as many lines as possible, going for a high score before your pile reaches the top of the screen. The longer you play, the faster the pieces fall. However, the scoring of the lines isn't always one-to-one. For example, if you clear 3 lines at once, you score 3 lines. But if you clear a Tetris, the game awards you 5 lines. This leads me to my favorite gameplay mechanic of this game. If you form a large 4x4 block using 4 pieces, the block turns solid and is worth many more lines if you clear it. The block turns silver if it's comprised of 2 or more different types of shapes, and gold if the block is made of 4 identical pieces. Clearing a silver block with a Tetris awards you 25 lines, while clearing a gold block awards you a whopping 45 lines. This mechanic leads you to further strategize how and where you place your pieces so you can maximize the amount of lines you clear in a game. It's a welcome dynamic to the standard Tetris formula, and one that I really love. It's never been used in a Tetris game before, but it was later used in Tetris Worlds. In that game, it was regulated to a specific game mode instead of being permeated throughout all game modes. Clearing a line by performing a T-spin results in the nearby pieces being transformed into 1x1 blocks, which causes them to fall to the bottom, filling gaps and clearing additional lines. But wait, it gets better! You can unlock various backgrounds, music, and wonders, which are 3D modeled landmarks from various countries. By clearing lines across all game modes, you unlock these quicker by strategizing your piece placement to create as many 4x4 solid blocks as possible. Another thing I wanted to mention is the music, and really sets a euphoric atmosphere to play in. There are several original music compositions in this game, and none of them are bad. All of them special. Worth mentioning is Neil Voss. He's the music composer of this game, and he also created the music for the other Nintendo 64 Tetris game, Tetrisphere. On the subject of auditory enjoyment, I'd also like to compliment the sound effects. They are unbelievably good for a Tetris game. Clearing single lines, Tetrises, or solid blocks all sound different and unique, not to mention all the other carefully crafted sounds of the game. So satisfying. But wait, it gets even better! In addition to the aforementioned Marathon mode, there are 2 other single-player modes: Sprint, where you see how many lines you can clear in 3 minutes, or Ultra, where you can see how quickly you can clear 150 lines. If you're like me and have no friends, you can play against the CPU in any of these modes. If you do have friends, I'm happy to report that up to 4 players can play simultaneously, where your goal is to fill up the other player's screens with blocks. You do this by clearing lines on your screen as quickly and efficiently as possible. It's a total blast. At least I'd imagine it'd be if I had any friends. Oh, and the commercial for this game is pretty great.
I mean, I can't believe Bobby did that to me. We're sitting there playing Tetris and he just dumps all over me. I mean, I thought we were friends.
Hey, if you can't pass the test, then leave the class. Besides, it wasn't me who dumped on him, it was Lewis.
Well then, let's bring out Lewis.
With the new Tetris, bury 3 friends in garbage and watch things really get out of hand. Only on N64.
So, in closing, there are so many great iterations of Tetris out there, but if you're gonna pick a favorite, why not this one? It's just a laid-back, all-around, solid Tetris title, and I really love it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Now get out your N64, play some new Tetris, and have a fantastic day.